Daniel is a different fighter, but let's not make mistakes about this. He's fighting one of the best fighters. So he has to do something amazing to win this fight. You know, do you understand? So he has to go in there and do something which has never been done before.
Yeah.
It's a tough ask, of course. You know, the thing with Usyk is he doesn't depend on his power to knock you out. He depends on his skill. That's why it's a tough ask, because he's going to box rings around you.
You know, jabs, using lateral movement.
Shock the world with the right game plan.
What I'm saying is this, to beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Well, to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago,
yeah,
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, oh, I'll just go to sleep. That's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, hey, imagine you now, you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then
Anthony Joshua offers a tactical break.
You know, he's done really well to go up against him and push Oleksandr Usyk in certain ways. Oleksandr Usyk's a good opponent. The thing where Daniel struggled, obviously, with southpaw, Daniel couldn't get his jab off, which is one of his main weapons, and his right hand off, because the southpaw, they're a bit further back, because their stance is different. So you have to kind of counter with the right hand, and Daniel couldn't get his main weapons off, so he struggled a little bit. But it's cool. Came back, beat Jerome Miller, big, strong, heavy guy. Beat Filip Hrgovic, who was apparently the boogeyman of the division. So he's done well to be in this position now after that. He's done well. Oleksandr Usyk fight, unlucky, came up short, but he's done well to bounce back.
Do you think it was a legal shot against Usyk or not?
I don't know. It's not. It don't matter what I say. Don't matter. What do you think?
Fine,
no,
so.
you.
I think it's on referee's discretion. I think if some referees call it legal...
So your opinion doesn't matter then?
I think more people are more interested in your opinion.
But I'm interested in yours.
If the referee called it legal...
No. You.
Either way, I think. Either way. Because some could argue Usyk
wears
his shorts high.
You.
I'll say it was legal.
It was legal.
We can call it legal.
Illegal?
No, legal.
Okay, legal.
Well, yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit around the belt, you get hit around the leg. I think it is what it is. You got hit and you went down. Legal.
Oleksandr Usyk approaches the rematch with sharp mental focus and clarity. He refuses to dwell on the events of the first fight, considering it a closed chapter. Rather than revisiting past controversies or explaining decisions already judged by fans and officials, Usyk is channeling all his attention toward the new challenge ahead. His training and mindset are fully rooted in the present. He treats this fight not as a continuation of the last, but as an entirely separate and unique encounter. With
all situation, but I not think about my first fight because it was in the past. Now we have a new fight. Maybe, I don't know, but I not think about it. Maybe Daniel do it again, but for me it doesn't matter because it's God's will. But I ready. I training long time. I have good protect in my both. Doesn't matter.
Do they think too much about the fight?
Eddie Hearn provides a broader perspective, blending both the technical and promotional elements of the rematch. With vast experience in managing world title events, Hearn notes the heightened pressure, particularly on Dubois, who is fighting not just for a win but for legitimacy among boxing's elite. Hearn hints that Dubois' camp has made significant adjustments and seems confident in their updated game plan. He also emphasizes that the rematch is more than a fight, it's a pivotal moment in both fighters' careers with reputations and legacies hanging in the balance.
But that was a low blow or not? I don't actually know your opinion.
I did. I mean, personally, I keep seeing the photos, you know, at the time of the punch, I believe it was low. Was it borderline? Yes. Were his trunks high? Maybe. So, for me, I did think that it was below the shorts. Where's the navel? Where's all this kind? Was it Lewis Pabon? Was he the referee?
Correct.
You know, does he have to say, look, we can't see your navel, you got to pull your shorts down? No, but that's what I'm saying. You know,
Don't mention his name around Frank.
Oh, Lewis Pabon. Okay.
Whatever you do, don't mention.
But one thing I will say is, Usyk don't like it to the body, and he was probably lucky, because even if it was 3 or 4 inches higher, I think it would have had the same effect that it had. It didn't hit him in the nuts, put it that way.
When he went on Piers Morgan, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago after the fight, and they played it back, and it was here, it was right there. That's where it was. You see it on there. All the photographs, it depends where they decide they want to stop, where the punch is coming from, and where it lands. Listen, do you know what? All of that now is irrelevant. He's got to, Daniel, on the 19th, what he's got to do the 19th of July is show what he's all about. He knows he can hurt him. And Usyk knows that as well.
He's a completely different fighter now.
He is. Well, they said it.
One of the most debated moments from the first fight was a controversial punch Dubois landed on Usyk's midsection. Ruled a low blow by the referee, the decision split the boxing world. Some argued the shot was legal and should have led to a stoppage, while others backed the referee's call. That single moment overshadowed what was otherwise a closely contested and gritty bout, leaving a cloud of unresolved tension between Usyk and Dubois. The controversy continues to fuel fan debates and adds an extra edge to the rematch.
Actually, go and look at the...
Two of them, just to correct you there, and I agree with the judges on this. 2 of the judges gave him the 4th round. 1 of the judges gives him the 5th round, which is the low blow round. The 4th round, 2 of the 3 judges give the 4th round to Dubois, not the 5th.
Yeah, but one of the judges did give him the 5th.
Yes, they did, yeah. One of them did give him the 5th, yeah.
Which I disagree with. I actually thought that Usyk got off the deck and gave him a bit of a pasting in the final sessions of that 5th round. Listen, he lost comprehensively. We had what, 8 completed rounds. Usyk won at least 6 of them.
Correct.
At least.
Correct.
So when you're talking about the gap between the guys, I thought it was really, really wide. But Don Charles, the team, whoever's been around Daniel Dubois,
Kieran
paused that
Fowles
fight,
played a massive part in it.
getting inside his head to convince him. You nearly had him.
Yeah.
You nearly had him.
Yeah.
To get him. It doesn't matter whether I believe it, or Tom, Dick, or Harry down the road believes it, or any fan believes it. We all saw what we saw. As long as Daniel Dubois believes what he's being told.
That the fight has grown beyond professional rivalry, it's now deeply personal. Whether this was a sincere emotional outburst or a calculated mind game, Dubois succeeded in shifting public attention to the emotional stakes of the fight. The face-off has added a dramatic subplot to the July 19th showdown, making it more unpredictable and volatile.
Can't wait for Oleksandr Usyk to teach Daniel Dubois a lesson in the rematch that's taking place Saturday, July 19th at Wembley Stadium. Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois have a face-off to promote their fight. Now take a look at this. Listen. Daniel Dubois pushes Oleksandr Usyk and then goes and calls him a pussy. I find it quite funny when a quitter calls someone else a pussy. Huh? Make it make sense, because Daniel Dubois, yeah, you've come off a few good losses, but we have to remind the peoples your true nature. When shit gets tough, you quit. Look at that fight between you and Joe Joyce, you quit. The fight against Oleksandr Usyk, you quit. And for you to go and disrespect Oleksandr Usyk, one of the greatest boxers of our eras. Yeah, the man is so humble inside the ring and outside the ring. You are gonna get taught a lesson. Now, when Oleksandr Usyk beat Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois jumped into the ring and started begging for a rematch. I honestly believe you disrespected Oleksandr Usyk then, because that was his moment, that was his time to shine, and then you came along and messed everything up. Now, Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson for that. Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson for pushing him, and Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson because you think you are the dog's bollocks right about now. Listen, I always like to support our own. I'm a Brit. I like to support British fighters. But listen, in this instance, in this case, in this up-and-coming fight, I am rooting for Oleksandr Usyk. I hope he teaches you a lesson and he reminds you of your place. Enough of me waffling. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this fight. Bosh.
Frank Warren, Dubois' promoter, has expressed unwavering belief in Daniel's readiness. He argues that Dubois has matured both technically and mentally over his last few fights, and looked especially sharp in those victories. While Warren acknowledges Usyk's greatness and legacy as one of the best of his generation, he believes the challenge only amplifies what's at stake for Dubois. Warren insists his confidence isn't just sales.
That on you.
Yeah, I think if Daniel can do what he's done in his last 3 fights, I think he can win the fight. I'm very confident in him, and you're going to get a good Usyk anyway. You know, Usyk's a consummate professional. You know, it's not like he backed out the fight. He wanted the fight, so he obviously and his team believe in him. And that's why it's going to be such a good match. But I think that Daniel knows he can hurt him. And what I think, and I hope they're overlooking, Daniel can box a bit as well. He's not a one-trick pony. He's not just smash and bash. He's got a great jab, and he can box.
Derek Chisora joined Simon on Top Boxing yesterday, and of course Derek Chisora has stood in front, as many have and many failed, and he was one of them, facing up to Oleksandr in the ring. Derek offered some information on how Dubois might go about taking care of Usyk on the night though, Frank. Have a listen to Derek.
To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Or to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago,
yeah,
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine. Yeah. I was sleeping in my house, and then there was missiles going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. That's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you now, you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side, because he's looking to go to the other side.
What do you make of that, Frank? Usyk's a special case because of where he comes from and what he's lived through, according to Derek.
Yeah, it's been tough what what the whole country's going through. There's no doubt about that. But you know, Daniel's had a real tough upbringing himself. It's just been boxing. His dad took him out of school. He was homeschooled, and all he did was live and breathe boxing. So he doesn't know anything different than boxing. That's what he's been brought up to do. And now I feel that, you know, mentally he's really matured, and as I say, coming off of these great wins he's had, he's already shared the ring with Oleksandr, and he knows what he's got in front of him, and he's not phased at all. You know, he called out and wanted this fight. He wants revenge. And as I say, I believe in him. You know, if it's all about being mentally disturbed to beat him, I thought then Derek should have won.
So the Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois rematch is official, July 19th in Wembley Stadium for the undisputed heavyweight title. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. This rematch will be a lot more competitive than the first fight, and I love Usyk, but Dubois has gotten exponentially better in the last 2 years. In the first fight, he started off really well going to the body, but after the whole low blow controversy, he either lost some confidence or just started slowing down altogether. And then Usyk started picking him apart and got the stoppage. But since then, Dubois looked great defensively against Joshua. He kept his hands up more, walked him down and kept landing his right hands. And say what you want about AJ, but nobody has ever steamrolled Joshua like that. Now Usyk, even at 38, I'm sure he'll still be the slight favorite. You know, having beaten Tyson Fury twice now for undisputed, and he makes great adjustments, and his footwork will still give Dubois a lot of trouble. But either way, massive fight for the heavyweight division. Usyk said he's got 2 fights left, so if he wins this one, maybe he fights someone like a Parker or Caballel in his last fight. And if Dubois wins, he can definitely force a trilogy for undisputed. But you guys let me know who you got in the big rematch.
Fights, he won. So I think that statement, we can squash it. He's got an A plan, a B plan, a C, D, E, the full alphabet. I just believe despite the improvements Daniel's made, it's not enough. And the fact that Usyk's already got data on how to beat him, for Daniel having belief in coming up with a game plan is different to executing it. Ask everyone else, his previous opponents who've tried. Going into the fight, Usyk knows he can hurt Daniel. He's got better footwork, faster hands and a better defense. He wants to hope that Usyk is aged overnight, lost his memory and forgotten how to fight. Daniel's best chance is a puncher's chance. And by the way, I'm actually rooting for Daniel. I hope he can pull it off. It would be amazing at Wembley Stadium, especially for the British fans. It's what dreams are made of. I'm a fan of both.
Among fans and experts, the majority opinion leans toward Usyk as the likely victor. His track record racking up wins against top-tier names in both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions backs this up. Usyk's elite footwork, timing, and adaptability inside the ring make him a nightmare to figure out. His ability to adjust in real time and control the rhythm of a fight sets him apart. Yet Dubois has been turning heads recently. With significant improvements in composure, accuracy, and endurance, many now see him as a transformed fighter. His confidence, once questioned, now seems quietly firm.
On his shots, I think he has the power to hurt Daniel Dubois. I certainly do that. And I think that if he's able to land on Dubois early and really start to build the lead and pepper him, as long as he's not had the wind taken out of his sails, Oleksandr Usyk is going to absolutely take over down the stretch. It might be the first couple of rounds are the most competitive rounds for Dubois and his best chance to strike. Because if you let Usyk get into a rhythm, you are screwed. So don't let Usyk get into a rhythm. If you can try and punch with Oleksandr Usyk, AJ had phenomenal success punching with Oleksandr Usyk in their respective fights. So that's what I think Dubois needs to do. Try and attack the body of Usyk legitimately, double up on the jab and try and punch with Usyk. Usyk, find that left hand, probe with that right hand. Go to Dubois' body as well, because Usyk's a very, very underrated body puncher, throws a great straight left hand to the body.
Tony Beltneers, opinions remain divided. While many favor Usyk's technical edge, there's also belief that if Dubois can disrupt Usyk early, push with controlled aggression, and attack the body, he could shift the momentum. This strategic back and forth is what makes the fight so compelling. Both outcomes feel equally possible, and that sense of unpredictability has electrified the entire boxing world.